Hello, on your view. Welcome to the show. I am Muriah Afolabi Brown. As always, I have the ladies with me. Hello, Biajulu.
Excellent morning, ladies. I'm doing amazing.
Chief Operating Officer at Motekun.
Yes.
Lagos branch.
Yes, I have just been appointed. Yes, I'm the Chief Security Advisor. Yes, so I'm
joking.
Joking
Before newspapers, we just have a...
Yes, it's a joke.
Yeah.
How you doing, though?
I'm doing amazing.
Even to the shoes. I wish you could get the shoes. You're all Amotekun.
Amotekun.
Is really influencing us. How are you doing?
I'm grateful to God. Business is booming. This is our season. So the others are. I saw your very hilarious video. Thank you for posting. People, they will come to my page and say, Madam, Moriah said you have been dancing since morning. You want to help your kids, so stop dancing. How much are you selling this? Yeah, it was good. It was good. But I also have a shout out. So, a friend who's they are celebrating their 3rd year wedding anniversary today, Mr. Aderin Shola Adelaga.
Okay.
Happy wedding anniversary. This is from your wife, and she says that she wants you to know that you still give her love butterflies in her heart, just like the very first day you met 12 years ago. And she called you daring. Thank you for your selflessness, and I will continue to love you as we journey through the next 70 years together by the grace of God. From your wifey, Odunayo Adelaga. That's so sweet.
Actually, I saw that. I took a picture, but I'm happy you said it. So she said it well, fantastic.
Yeah.
That's we have.
Yes, I'm doing fine. First, I have my nose in this book I've been reading. I got it on Monday.
Barack Obama.
Yes.
I have the script. So I feel embarrassed.
Yeah, okay. For all those that have been asking to read my book after me, 3,000 naira.
What is wrong with
you? Yeah, I have to pay back for the money I spent now.
So I'm actually still on chapter 1. I got the PDF version. Although it's illegal, I shouldn't be reading the PDF one. I should actually go and buy the book. That's the right thing. But people are wondering how we got the PDF version.
In Nigeria.
Yeah, I bought the book and I'm happy I got the book. Yeah. And I'm just carrying it around. Yeah. My husband was saying to me that my daughter came to pick it and dropped it. She was like, your future. You are playing with your future. Better be careful.
Yeah.
I also have a shout out. Lady, her name is Kemi Sola. She says she's a lover of your view. She lives in Houston and it's her sister's birthday today. She says she turns 30. Her name is Sheon Da Silva.
Happy
she
birthday.
Says to say to her, she loves you so much and she prays that you live long to celebrate many more years.
Amen.
We have a general shout out. I think one of the guys that supplies us.
Oh, Biggie Drinks, Mr. Tijani.
Mr. Tijani.
Mr. Tijani gives us drinks. He's a distributor for Biggie Drinks, and he's always there for us. Always. Even on my birthday, he sent me like 30 cartons, 60 cartons. Thank you so much. He's always so helpful. Anytime we have an event in your view, he sends us so much stuff.
Today's his birthday.
Thank you.
Happy birthday,
Mr. Tijani. God bless you. Many more years. Yes, so man, I'm trying to remember. Okay, happy birthday to everybody that sent me a message.
You didn't check it. You didn't see it.
Please send it to Mariam. I'm busy. And Nima. They are very, very good at this stuff. I sincerely apologize. But yeah, it's midweek. Anything happening, Mariam, aside from...
No, I was just reading my book. Nothing happening. I'm just happy that, I think today's my last day for the week. So I
can't wait to get our new set, though.
Oh,
yeah.
Is it ready?
I don't know. We're working on it. I don't know. We'll see.
Yeah.
It'll be nice to,
that would be nice.
have some real things to touch. Yeah, real things.
But we're doing okay with a green screen.
Yeah, you're doing well.
I showed a few people the pictures and like, so what happens? You just impose, the pictures. I said,
technology. Yeah. Very soon you'll be in your house. I'll be in my house. I will just be here.
Have you seen Barack Obama and Oprah?
Yes, I saw that. Like, that's the kind of technology we're talking about.
We're right there talking to each other.
Okay, guys, it's midweek. There's so much to cover. They are discussing our matter at the Parliament. We'll focus on that today. Stay with us. We'll be right back.
Stay tuned. Your view will be right back.
Okay, we're going to start with the nation. Fashola to APC, respect your zoning plan in 2023. Naira value not decided by parallel market, says Emefiele. South-South zone calls for reform and powered devolution. Buhari orders regular crude supply to modular refineries. Coast clear for Ekonja Weather as WTO DG. Undo Oshun, 3 others to get 148.14 billion naira refund. Okay, which story are we taking here? Major headline. Let's start with the major headline. Go ahead.
All right. So the Minister of Works and Housing, Babatunde Fashola, yesterday urged the APC to respect the zoning formula that they have actually agreed on. He said it was one of the core agreements reached by the founding fathers of APC. It was the then governor of Lagos State when this agreement was reached. And he was saying that there have been speculations that zoning will likely not happen, that power will not be given to the Southeast this time around. But he's saying that an agreement is an agreement. You have to honor that agreement, whether it's written or not. And it's not in the Constitution. There's nowhere in the Constitution that is written that you must zone, but it was an agreement, and it will be honorable to, honor that agreement. And he also said that the speculations came from some people are having meetings with the former President Jonathan, and they are saying that he may likely defect to the APC, saying that when he comes in this time around, he's just going to have one tenure. Yes.
But he's saying, but he didn't tell us exactly what the agreement was. So it'd be interesting to know exactly what was agreed with the EPC elders at the time. But either way, let's take another story.
So the multi-million-dollar scanners rot away at the port.
Wow.
So the controller of the Apapa Area Command of Nigeria Customs Service, Mohammed Abakura, took members of the House of Reps around, the port, and he was just showing them some of the things that were going on there. And I guess because of all the traffic that's coming from that area recently, and he pointed out some 3 multi-million-dollar high-caliber mobile scanning machines belonging to Nigerian Customs have just been rotting away there. So they said that sometime in the past, there's this service provider called Cotecna. They were the ones that installed the fixed and the mobile scanners. And they also had, they also made sure that they trained staff abroad. For a year and a half, they went abroad for training. They were able to go around the world to different ports. And they even saw that some of the scanners that they have were better than some in Doha ports, for example. But that sometime in 2015, politics came along, Cotecna was taken off, and then the Nigerian company was given,
and we messed it up.
I want to take another story, but I can't take that right now. We have to move on, unfortunately. Let's move on to Vanguard. Selfish Northerners opposing restructuring, says El Rufai. 30% levy cut on imported vehicles will spell doom for local assembly, actually. Hashtag NSA Senate asks FFG to compensate affected states and individuals. Uwazurike has to look at leak against kick against Obiozor's emergence. And CBN flays use apparel market to push Naira devaluation. Okay, who has the major headline?
The major story,
yes. Go ahead.
So the Kaduna State Governor and chairman of the APC has said that, El Rufai Nasir has said that it's only selfish governors, selfish northern governors that are, opposing restructuring, saying that they are just a tiny voice in the majority. They are not the majority of northerners, because the truth is the northerners are actually not benefiting. They are at the bottom scale of what is happening right now.
Let me quote him.
Okay.
He said, we have the highest number of out-of-school children. We have the highest poverty rate. We have the lowest jam cutoff rate. So what are the advantages of the North in this situation? Meaning that the current situation doesn't benefit the North either. So restructuring obviously is a possibility and is important.
Yes, and they are supporting restructuring. So for the voices we are hearing, and also he talked about the fact that people, make condescending statements concerning certain regions, feeling that because they are not accepting restructuring, that they are lower than the others. We should be very careful how we present this restructuring.
I was going to educate people. I was going to take one more story. We done in this paper, wasn't it? Former paper concerning the fact that the president instructed NNPC DPR to provide ensure regular crude supply to Watersmith and other modular refineries in the country to enable them operate optimally. Now, we're excited about the one that was recently, the modular refinery that was approved for in Imo and actually commissioned. And they'll be producing about 5,000 barrels per day. Okay. And I mean, that's groundbreaking, and that's small, but at least we're happy that at least gradually it's happening. Having refineries. Any other story in Vanguard?
Yes, I will go back to Apapa again.
Okay,
so,
yeah.
Yes, the operations. I think they're being accused that that those who are supposed to be in charge, the minister, Fashola, governor. The governor of Lagos State do not seem to be, paying attention to the Apapa gridlock and all the problems that is being caused in that area, because touts, according to the report, touts and hoodlums have taken over that area. Truck drivers have to pay up to sometimes 100,000 a day to be allowed to get to their destination. Right. There's so many people back, they said that the NSAS had stopped a lot of truck drivers to get to the port, but immediately things got better. Everyone is back on the roads trying to get to the port. We have things that are coming from the ports overseas, stuck there, trying to find their way out. It's just chaos there, and there doesn't seem to be any leadership on how to move forward.
What do we do? I was going to pick one story, because the federal government has actually cut down the levy, 30% cut for imported vehicles. So those who are importing the vehicles, they no longer have to pay so much taxes. Wow. They reduced to 5%, but local assemblers are complaining because it would affect the local industry. About 34 of the companies were actually empowered in 2014. And these
assemble cars.
Assemble cars, yes. Wow. And Koshari, the MD of Koshari is one of them, and he's complaining that it's going to affect them totally. That is, I think the government has certainly went back on the plan and the approval they got in 2014, and this is totally not fair on their own market. Moving on now to Daily Sun. Nigerian constitution no longer useful, says can. Hashtag NSAS shooting, UK Parliament berates federal government. Nigeria not included in the US visa bond pilots program, says embassy. 2023 PDP 2 weeks to wrest power from EPC, says Fashola. And again, Uzodinma Okorocha, trade tackles. All right, which story are we taking?
The major story.
Major story, go ahead.
Yes, so the Christian Association of Nigeria, CAN, that's the national president, Reverend Samson Ayokunle, has said that the current, the Nigerian constitution right now has outlived its usefulness. That right now it's failed to address equity, fairness, and justice in the governance of the country. And he's also saying that let's look around us all over the world. There is no country that has up to 500 ethnic groups. And so we have a lot of minorities, majorities that we should find a way to, make sure that they take a turn to be at the helm of affairs so that everybody feels important and they are not feeling marginalized at the same time. So for those that are afraid of restructuring, they should even give ear to either rebranding or, just creating change that will benefit every ethnic group.
A lot of people have echoed that fact that our constitution right now is obsolete and we need to review it. And that's what we're asking for. Let me talk about the member parliament. So Theresa Villas, a member parliament in the United Kingdom, amongst the House of Reps member who have berated the government so far concerning the hashtag NSAS and the shooting at Lekki. And she was saying that she received a petition and she felt that the petition had a credible case for imposition of individualized sanctions such as travel bans and asset freezes. So we discussed that, and that's part of the Magnitsky sanction that again, instead of sanctions against the country, they begin to sanction against individuals who that they identified have been promoting police brutality and human rights in Nigeria. Okay, any other story in Sun? Let's move on very quickly now to the Nigerian Tribune. South leaders give FG 7-point demand. One injured police post burnt as Okada riders prison warders clash in Ibadan. Alleged $2 billion fraud. Court begins Mina's trial in absentia. Trouble in Oyetola and Aregbesol's camps, and trouble brewing over $500 million Chinese loan. Let's take the major headline. Do you have that?
Yes, I have the story. So the governors and leaders, stakeholders of the South-South geopolitical zone have placed a 7-point demand on the federal government to guarantee peace, security, and stability. One of the demands says that they want, they still went back to restructuring, so they want true devolution of powers where states have enough power to be able to control not just their resources, but their local governments, their police, and all of that. They also asked that the federal government relocates the headquarters of NNPC from Lagos and Abuja to one of the South South states, and they also want a rehabilitation of the region's main ports. So the Calabar ports, the Port Harcourt, and the Warri ports, and some other demands. I pray that they find a way to come to a round table.
Oh, yeah, go ahead.
Okay, so it seems that Okonjo-Iweala may soon be, as they say, the coast is clear for her to be announced as the next DG of the World Trade Organization, because South Korea has decided to withdraw its candidate. We remember that even though Okonjo-Iweala had gotten the popular vote, United States of America was not in support, and so they held back their support and gave it to the South Korean candidate. But now, seeing how politics has turned for Donald Trump, it may seem that South Koreans are thinking, we don't have anybody. Let's just quickly do this, gracefully, and say we have, taken a step back.
Quickly, there was an incident that happened in Ibadan that had to do with an Okada driver, an army man, and at the end of the day, the tear gas was released by mistake, according to the reports in the papers. And finally, the individuals, I don't know who exactly, went and burnt down the police station in that area. I think it's very unfair. We are gradually watching things degenerate. We don't have to resort to burning down police stations at every slightest. We need to do something about this.
All right, we have to move on, but I have to remember that I was going to say that the former Minister Fashola was saying that if the APC does what it's supposed to do, they'll be re-elected. Well, one of the things Nigeria have been asking for is this restructuring. Everybody has been saying it. So if APC really wants to win, maybe they start thinking about
true
restructuring.
Federalism.
Real true devolution of power. Yeah. Maybe then Nigerians can begin to consider them. Let's go on a break. We'll be right back. I can't believe I know mention that today is like a woman who has been a mentor, a friend, a mother to me, Mrs. Folashade Adefisayo. She's the Honorary Commissioner for Education in Lagos State. Happy birthday, ma.
Happy birthday,
I've even forgotten to mention it. Well, I mean, I should get
spanked. We wanted to flog you this morning.
What nonsense. Happy birthday, ma. We love you so much. I love you so much. You're an amazing mother, leader, articulate. She's just, there's just something about her. Her presence itself carries weight. I just want to say happy birthday and many more years. And I'll definitely see you later on today.
All right. Celebrate you.
Yes, let me greet her, please.
Happy birthday.
Now, moving on. So, the Honorable Minister of State, Petroleum Resources, Timipre Sylva, said that Nigerians should be very proud that federal government is set to resume the importation of petroleum products from the neighbouring Niger Republic. According to him, Nigeria is a big market. We need products. Even if our refineries were functioning, we will still need extra products. What are your thoughts on this? Especially because now that we've even commissioned the Imo State Refinery. Does it sound like good news to you? Are we happy, or we're still sulking from the fact that we don't have refineries functioning in Nigeria? You can call us on 090-241-63440, or you can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag YourViewTVC so we can read your tweets. So the real concept is this a silver lining for us? Are we happy that at least we're not having to import the petrol from other international markets, but our neighboring Niger Republic is able to refine our crude and at least sell to us all? And the fact that we also have a smaller modular refinery in Nigeria that started producing 5,000 barrels. I mean, is this? Should this be good news? Should we be proud of this, or are we still not happy?
Mariah. Okay, go ahead, Mariah.
Well, so I read to make sure that what he said was that we should be proud. You know, he said we should not, there's nothing embarrassing about it. I think the minister should actually be embarrassed about this. The Minister for State, he should be embarrassed that this is a country of, that has been exploring crude oil and exporting crude oil for many, many years. And the conversation of our refineries, the monies that go into it, and zero crude oil is being refined. You know, our refineries are working at zero capacity. This is something to be embarrassed about. So it's not about Niger or, as he said, the sub-regional trade relations. that is a different conversation. But we should be coming from a point of we are embarrassed.
Hey.
We should be, importing refined petroleum, our excess petroleum products. We should
Exporting.
exporting. We should have enough to meet the demand. And if it's impossible, yes, it happens that if we were coming from a place where we were refining our petroleum, our crude oil, we had, some to meet our demand, but we needed enough, a little to top up, to meet a small shortfall. But to come from zero, and then to say to not be embarrassed by it, I was like, he's right. Nigerians, don't be embarrassed. But the government needs to be embarrassed by this. So that's on the one hand. Secondly, we are already, so the good thing would be that we're already importing petroleum products anyways, and then we're doing it all the way through the seas, the ports, and we hear this story of Apapa gridlock and the whole thing being stuck at, petroleum products just being stuck at the port. So to have like Niger, which is a much closer border to Nigeria, and then as they say, it's landlocked, so it's easier. So for logistics reasons, I guess this is a cheaper, cheaper way to bring in products. And also, it made me question this Kano Maradi rail line. Could this have been the reason we were putting about $1.96 billion towards this, that we knew ahead of time that we're going to have this trade between Niger and Nigeria with
But the good news also, Mariam, is the fact that because it's Niger, right now, those in the north pay way more for petrol than we do down south. And it's because of the transportation all the way there. So because Niger is closer to the north, it's possible that they will begin to pay maybe something similar to what we're paying in the south. So I think it's a good, it's not so much of it coming down south. It's probably going to be feeding the northern states. But we don't know until we're sure.
I was disappointed in that statement coming from the minister, because this isn't what he should be saying at this time. We have a problem of trying to understand what has happened, that we are not able to have refineries that work. And I know a few weeks back, the vice president has said the Nigerian government does not have a business in doing refineries. And we came at him that how can he say that after they have put in so much? We had billions pumped into revamping our refineries till date. Till now, nobody has come to give us an account of how those monies were used, what it was spent on, how come the monies were put in, which channel did it pass, why are we not having things on ground? Nobody has given us that. We're not even asking them to give us that. We want refineries that work. So for a minister to sit down and tell us that is not something to be ashamed of, that we are going to be buying from our brother, our neighbor, is like, patronizing your neighbor down the road. We are a country that we know how to give to others what we do not have. And we've not even asked ourselves, we are going to be their major market now. By the time they start selling to us, what are we selling to them? Because we are always getting into relationship with people who benefit from us, and we have nothing to benefit from them. And this fuels a few Nigerians who are basically at the cartel, who are seriously into importation strongly and keeping our refineries down. So they should come and tell us the truth. Now, why I'm angry with this statement is the fact that for the minister to say this is showing us the body language of the government. They are not interested in doing anything about the refineries.
I don't want to jump to that conclusion. I don't think
it's my opinion.
Yeah, it's fine. But I don't want us to jump to that conclusion, because the truth is, NNPC said that 81 billion, I think. Let me just get the right figure. About 81.4 billion naira have been pumped into it. And obviously, you're very correct. We don't know where the money is. Yeah. But however, they've been telling us, we've seen the Imo State refinery. I mean, this is our new golden child. It's a modular refinery.
Personal business.
I know, but at least we're happy that we're beginning to refine in Nigeria. We've been waiting for Uncle Dangote. It used to be my uncle, but now I think I'm gradually...
No, you have to stay with him. Don't be a fluke. Stay in one place.
So Uncle Dangote... No, I'm just... There are reasons. There are reasons. We'll come down. There are reasons. So Uncle Dangote, we're waiting for his own refinery, because he's supposed to be producing enough to meet our own demand. So is it possible that the government is holding off on investing in or fixing? Instead of pumping money continually to these refineries, they say, you know what, let us just wait for Dangote's refinery. So that's a possibility. Possibly, but let us go on the break. When we come back, we'll take more calls and tweets and hear Nigerians' opinions on this matter. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. We're still on this matter of refineries. The fact that the Honorable Minister of State was saying that we should be proud that we are actually buying from our brothers in Niger Republic. And also, simultaneously, the government also recently commissioned a private refinery, modular refinery in Nigeria, which we should also be proud of, actually, because we've been all clamoring for the government to allow more private players involved in this downstream sector. Let's take this call from Austin. Morning, Austin. Are you there? Thanks for calling.
Hey, I'm here. Good morning,
Good
Mariah.
morning. You're live. Go ahead, please.
I'm a first-time caller.
Welcome to the show.
I am disappointed and at the same time not. Why? Because we can see from independence how Nigeria has become giant of Africa and a potential to become one of the greatest parts on earth, to become a giant with clay feet. What do you expect? If we could borrow grains from West African states to feed, is it fuel we will not borrow? I think what we should be praying for is that we should not go ahead and borrow leaders to lead this country.
One day.
It's actually shameful and a thing not to think of for a minister who is even from the oil producing region, the sixth largest producer, a country that has a combined refining capacity of 450,000 barrels per day, to be reporting fuel from a landlocked country that refines only 20,000 barrels per day. I mean, it is unthinkable of. It is shameful for it. We should be proud. Proud of what? I think, look, I am in support for us to get out of this quagmire. Actually, there should be true federalism, fiscal federalism, devolution of power, and resource control.
Thank you very much, Austin.
At the onset of independence, with parliamentary system of governance, at least the regions, at least were testimony, at least the West and the North and the East, and you saw the development at the native Midwest.
Thank you very much, Austin.
Go back to that basis for us to forge ahead.
And thank you very much, Austin. I think also, guys, that sometimes it's not so much of their intention, because if I want to look at it properly, he's probably not saying that, oh, we are totally putting aside our capability as a country to produce refining, that would let us be proud that we're importing from Niger Republic. I don't think that's his focus. I think it's more the statement, the somewhat careless statements where our leaders make without really understanding the enormity of what they are saying.
Yes.
So you say it carelessly, but the truth is that when we now play it back, I was thinking, okay, why would you say the implication of what you're saying? So I think going forward, our leaders must begin to understand how important their utterances are. And every single thing you say, we hear it, and we begin to read meanings into it.
I agree with you, Mariah, because if, you know, there's a way you know that you are failing, but then you present it in such a way that it shows that you're still working to succeed. You don't just put it on our face, I failed, and so what? Deal with it. That's how that statement sounded. So if he had come to say, we have looked at our capacities. Right now, we do not have functioning refineries. We're still waiting on Dangote. We still have a few modular refineries. We need to keep, you know, importing. And then you tell us the cost implication, do a cost analysis for us. Tell us why it's cheaper to get from a Niger Republic than to get from the places that we've been getting from. You know, present it in such a way that we say, okay, for now, we do not have a choice. Let us just be doing this till, and you give us the plans of what you intend to do to make our own refineries functional. But you don't come and tell us, just be happy that after all,
so thank you very much. That's such an important point, because Nigerian leaders must understand that we're no more you can't just throw things at us anymore.
Thank you.
Nigerians are getting smarter. We're understanding these things. We understand the figures. We understand the nuances of this. So it's important that when you speak to Nigerians, speak to us with dignity. Speak to us like you're talking to people who actually know. Because when you just come out and make those kind of blanket statements, it's like you're telling us, oh, so what? Deal with it, just like you said. Let me take this call and I'll come to you, Mariam. Good morning. Are you there?
Hello. Good morning.
Thanks for calling. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, my name is Roslyn, calling from Abuja.
Welcome to the show. Go ahead, sir.
Mariah, good morning, every one of you. Thank you very much.
Yes.
Yeah, my view on this issue is that I want to give kudos and congratulations to Minister of State for Petroleum.
Okay.
And I want to also tell him to organize a banquet party for importing petrol from Niger.
Okay.
In fact, I don't know that some people don't have shame. I'm very, very ashamed of that statement of our minister. How can he from South, utter such a statement to Nigerians that we should be celebrating importation of petroleum from Niger? Niger that is not up to a population of Lagos. Please, Moraye, my view is that the way out of this country mess is restructuring. For instance, if NPA has been moved to Lagos as a importer, why can't NNPC power be shifted to Bayelsa, Port Harcourt, or Calabar? Name them. What are we seeing in this country? Are they myopic? We are seeing, Nigerians are seeing all these things. And let me tell them, everybody must give account of each and every what he or she has done in this country. To the citizens of this country.
Right.
They must account for it.
Thank you very much, Eze. I really appreciate your thoughts on this. Yes, Miriam, we're going to say something.
I was just going to say that sometimes the way our leaders come across with the sort of the things that they say, I think it comes from the fact that many of them believe that they're doing us a favor. So in this, they don't see it as service to the people. They see it as we're serving them. And because of that, you know how African parents tend to talk to their children, we talk down at them. How dare you ask me that question? We are important people here. We're having a conversation. You don't know what we're talking about, you know? So that is the thought. We are the parents here, and you are the children. You have no idea what is important here. Just, I've given you this information. That's enough for you to, you know, hurry along, bye, you know. But Nigerians have become more vocal. A lot of, because also of social media, people are looking at the news, not just in Nigeria, but they're comparing it to other places. So immediately I saw that story of getting the importing crude oil from Niger. I quickly checked, okay, how much per barrel a day does Niger refine, you know, and it's 20,000 barrels per day, and we're talking about over 445,000 barrels per day if we were running at full capacity in our country. And you're wondering, this is a small country that has been able to get its act together. They had been exploring for oil since the 1970s. By 2011, they were able to get one of their major wells. And as they had that, they built their refinery right alongside. So that's a country that is forward-thinking. And now we have to fall back on that small country that is thinking ahead for its people. And where we're supposed to be the leader of the African continent, the economy, it seems we are not really sure what our role should be for the continent as a whole, and even for the citizens themselves.
Let me take this call from you. Look at things. Are you still there?
Yeah, I'm still there.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Yeah, good morning.
Morning.
I thank you for giving us an opportunity to put a scale place like myself. And what I want to say about the statement of the minister and all the goings on about the petroleum importations and stuff is very, very shameful. I now have the conviction and belief that most of we Nigerians, actually Nigerians, and that's why we don't believe in the unity and the progress of this country. Tell me, we are extending electricity to Niger. We are extending our railway connection to Niger. We are now importing fuel from Niger. It is a pointer, actually. Why are we taking our assets outside the shores of Nigeria? Whereas many of Nigerians are unemployed, have nothing. Nobody is proud of this nation. Why? Think of a little Niger Republic, our minister from Niger Delta, where these things are being exploited. Why can't he canvas and a refinery in his own home? Look at it. Everything from Niger Delta is taken off. The oil there is drained by, they are being refined at Kaduna. Now you have AKK, all the gases from there, they are taking it. I wonder, what are we really doing? Why can't we split Nigeria? Why can't we divide Nigeria? We refuse restructuring, we refuse every amendment, the constitutional amendment, we refuse all of them. Why don't we, come on, Let's treat Nigeria so that everybody, every section can survive.
Thank you very much, Iloka. Let me go on a quick break. Thank you for your thoughts. When we come back, we'll continue the conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. So, let's wrap up on our previous segment by taking a few tweets. Do we have a tweet?
Yeah, so Ogumola Emmanuel says, the minister should be embarrassed by that statement. What is the government doing to revamp all our refineries since 2015? They just voice their baseless opinions confidently, and the government stamps it. The minister is supposed to be the best fit for the position. Kep says, I agree with BC that the minister's statement is another way of conveying the message about how unconcerned this administration is about developing this nation. What then is giant about us if we will always depend on others?
Okay, so we're going to wrap with that. But I think what everybody's saying generally is that we need to focus on our own refineries, and hopefully maybe when Dangote refinery is ready, we can, that's all Nigerians are looking for.
And that even if we do not have intentions of revamping our refinery, they should tell us what the plan is. Are we giving it out for people to come in?
Private sector?
Yes, private sector. Tell us the plan. Let's not just leave it lying fallow.
Okay, so let's move on to another topic, which is the issue of the UK Parliament. So, members of the United Kingdom Parliament recently pushed for possible sanctions against the Nigerian government officials over alleged human rights abuses during the #EndSARS protest. We are seeing the impact of Nigerians in the diaspora also from this conversation. We are seeing the foreign governments respond to their petition. Have we truly appreciated the influence of Nigerians abroad? Joining us on the show is a professor of international relations and strategic studies and the head of Department of History and Strategic Studies, University of Lagos, Professor David Awurawo. Welcome to the show, sir.
Thank you.
Good to have you on. You can call us on 090-241-63440, and you can also tweet to us at TVC Connect. Please hashtag your TVC so we can read your tweets. All right, so there are many parts of this conversation, and I'd like to hear your thoughts, especially Nigerians abroad. I mean, over 200,000 Nigerians abroad signed this petition to their local parliamentarian, and they took it up, and they could see their views being expressed on the parliament. For me, that was democracy. I mean, for me, that was in itself exactly what we've been asking our leaders, where we petition you for something, and we see you discuss at the floor of the House. In itself is democracy. But in your view, do you think that the debates you saw can be impactful in any way? Because we've seen this happen. When they killed Ken Saro-Wiwa, there were lots of talk, they suspended us from the international community, but at the end of the day, nothing really happened. So when we see these debates, yeah, we get excited, but does it really make any, do you think it will be any impact?
Yes, it will. If I'm to start from the points, the example you just gave, the case of Saro-Wiwa, it isn't the case that it didn't fetch anything. Nigeria's suspension from the Commonwealth in the aftermath of the execution of Saro-Wiwa and others, led to several things which were positive. The suspension, compelled the government to take certain measures. The government would have been worse than, would have done worse things than it did if such actions were not taken.
Okay.
So it is not true that the action of the international community in the aftermath of the execution of Saro-Wiwa didn't fetch anything. That was not the only thing. The international community gave support to Nigerians who tried to ensure that things change for the better in the country. Many Nigerians went abroad, they were embraced, and they were given assistance at different levels in different ways, which, of course, indirectly contributed to the democracy that came in 1999. So it is not altogether true that those measures fetch nothing.
So will this measure fetch? Do you think it will fetch something?
Yes, certainly it will. To just set another example, just before the Edo election, the international community said, look, elections in Nigeria, we have had this, rigging of elections not reflecting the will of the people, and decided to take certain measures to sanction certain people. It had a positive impact on the Edo election, and it's also still having an impact as we speak. So those things may appear abstract, may appear even esoteric, but when you look at the fallout most of the time, it almost always leads to something positive moving forward.
I've always wondered then when the international community would put like a national sanction on everybody for those who are in their homes quietly. They did not have anything to do with it. And then you sanction all of us. And then this new method, I think, is new, where just individuals that they think are directly related or have affected this problem that they want to try and solve are the ones being sanctioned. Would this make more impact than the national or the country sanction, at once?
Well, both are still applied, depending on the issues and the countries involved. There are sanctions, for instance, on Iran, which affects everybody. While there are sanctions that are targeted at specific individuals when they are identifiable, depending on the issue. And it also has its impact. I agree with you entirely that those ones that are specifically targeted at individuals who are perceived to have committed certain infractions, who have committed human rights abuses in certain ways and things like that, they have tended to be more effective. Because if you look at it, those are the ones who impact policy. Those are the ones who have power. Those are the ones who have influence. Those are the ones who can change things very quickly, whose actions can alter the course of things very quickly. And so those ones that are, targeted at specific individuals who have been involved in certain human rights abuse and things like that have tended to be more effective, as you could see in the case of the Edo election, like I said, and it's also still having impact as we speak.
All right, so
that's arguable, but okay.
Yeah. So in that proceeding, if I may call it that, they also mentioned the fact that we have heads of state who somehow, I don't know, those are allegations that we don't have evidence to point to. But I want to ask you, how sincere, because I know that when it comes to a foreign policy, every country must, first of all, protect itself and put their interest first. And I know that sometimes we hear that money has been laundered in this country and that country, and the money is sitting there in the account. They know that the money is from this other country and they don't bring it back. So how sincere do you think this international community will be? Or how sincere are they to ensure that such corrupt practices are not encouraged in their country as a support for us?
Well, we have different categories. Maybe we can break them down into three.
Okay.
The first are those who sincerely and genuinely want those monies laundered to be, taken back so that those countries can develop. Then we have those who are lukewarm, who don't really bother much. Then we have the third category who benefit from this, who don't see anything wrong with it, who collaborate with those who bring the money for personal benefits. Those who spoke at the UK Parliament the other day, from the way they spoke, you almost want to think that it belongs to the first category. Those who think that, the developing countries are shortchanged by their leaders, who launder their money and make them even poorer than they already are. And, to begin with the allegation, well, it's an allegation.
Yeah, it is.
And we can't comment on it more than that. It's just an allegation. But we can generalize. We can draw inferences from other. We cannot speak specifically with reference to the allegation against the former head of state. But what we do know is that we have political office holders who carry money to these countries and launder. Of course, the Bori case, the Alamesi case, all of these cases are established.
Yes.
The courts have decided, so we can speak specifically with reference to those. But with reference to the one just made, we can't speak, specifically. And what that means is that the statement, the position that monies are laundered from developing countries to these other countries and that they have collaborators in these countries who assist them is true. There is no that one. The facts about that is indisputable. That one is true. Like I said, we wish we would have more of those who are sincerely desirous of assisting developing countries to get these monies back so that development can take place in these countries. There's no doubt about the fact that there are collaborations.
What would they be? I mean, why would they do that? Why should they go out of their way to help us? Why do we have to depend on them to help us?
Well, in the first place, the greater blame, of course, is on those who take their country's money to these countries.
Yeah.
I mean, if you bring your father's money to me, you have the greater blame. If I say, okay, bring it, let us share it, you have the greater blame. But of course, if I'm honest, if I'm concerned about the common good, I will say, no, don't do that. By doing that, you are shortchanging yourself and your people. So,
all right, let me go on a quick.
So it's just altruistic?
Well, there are people who are altruistic. And like I also said, there is a category that is lukewarm, that doesn't bother.
Don't care.
There's a third category that collaborates and then benefit from profits from, you know, the
All right, let me go on a quick
money's
break.
laundered.
When we come back, continue this conversation. Stay with us. We'll be right back. Thanks for staying with us. Still have our guest here with us. Sir, as a professor of international relations and strategic studies, in your view, how do you think we can utilize the Nigerians in the diaspora at times like this? Because we've seen how the other countries in China, India, tap into their diaspora community for development. We have a huge amount of Nigerians living abroad, doing great things. How do you think we can, because we've seen them now, they will talk to their parliament, and the parliament is already debating our matter in their own house. How else can we utilize these Nigerians abroad?
Well, I want to begin by saying that already they contribute tremendously to national development. When we look at the figures of how much they send home every year, it's a huge chunk of what contributes to, you know, Nigeria's development. The Diaspora Commission has been working to interact with them to see other ways that they can be of help. I'm aware of the fact that those in medical line, you know, they also have their association over there, and you know, they've suggested diverse ways in which they can, you know, give their expertise, give equipment and all that, you know, to enhance Nigeria's medical sector. So what needs to be done is to identify other critical areas where Nigerians in diaspora, you know, have influence, can render assistance, expertise here and there, and so that they can touch different sectors, not just what they repatriate home, and not just limited to, you know, the medical sector.
Let me take this call from Port Harcourt and come to GBC. Ahmed from Port Harcourt, thanks for calling.
Yes.
You're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. Hello?
Hello, you're live. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I thought I'm talking to TVC.
Yes, you are. You're live on TVC. Go ahead, please.
Okay. I might say a general comment. I've watched your program, the previous one before now.
Yes.
I mean, this, when we talk of the Minister of Petroleum,
yes.
Minister of State for Petroleum and this one.
Yes.
And this one you are saying now.
Yes.
I really want to caution us Nigerians, especially you, the TVC and other media organizations that have a lot of reach on what to do in our stations, because it has a lot of impact. I think it was not fair for the Minister of State for Petroleum for you to quote him out of context that Nigerians should be proud. It was not fair at all. If you watch that program, what he was saying is that Nigeria, being our neighboring country, with the interaction we have with them, I mean, we should be proud that we are importing from there and not from U.S. If you have said that we are importing from U.S., maybe the way we have taken it would have been different. We are coming home. Then somebody there, one of you there was saying that this government should tell us what would they do. Can they about the petroleum something? If a small country can, Nigeria can do. A big country can take something from a small country. If that country has enough. Yes, Niger, considering their population, it is easy for them with a refinery to meet their local needs. So there's nothing wrong for Nigeria to buy from a neighboring country than going to U.S. to buy it.
Okay.
There's nothing wrong.
All right.
So that's information. Are you following? That's what he's saying. But if we are talking of whether this government is serious about our petroleum sector and what it has to do, our refining here especially, look at it. The issue of the regulation at all of the downstream sector, that is no more subsidy, is the main reason why we have not been able to produce locally.
Right. Thank you very much, Ahmed. I appreciate your views. You're absolutely entitled to your opinion. That's great. Now, going back to...
May I quickly respond?
To him?
Yes. Oh, I should.
No, of course. Let's move on.
Okay. Because I wanted to read out what
No. He's his view.
Yeah.
Let's his view. Yeah. Go ahead.
Yeah. So, you know, I'm excited that this is my very first of seeing petitions work in this way, where I'm politically aware. And I've been thinking in my head, is there any way that we can bring this back to Nigeria, where we sign petitions of the sort of changes that we want, and we see petitions being taken into the houses of assembly, being debated on, being talked about, and we see results. Is there anything we can do differently so that we get to that point where, because in as much as we have people who are not very educated, we still have people who are really educated, who use the mobile phones, who are, in that space where we can write petitions and fight for.
You and I don't get involved. That's the thing.
No. I'm talking about just, we see a lot of petitions that they share on WhatsApp, sign the petition for the sign. How do we get to that point where those petitions are taken seriously? Yeah. What can we do?
Right.
Well, two things. First, we need to insist. It's not just enough signing petitions and then sending them. People need to insist the way they did in the course of the NSAS. Because SARS was scrapped so many times and ended up not being scrapped. So that insistence that look, what we want should be done. Okay. That's one. And then two, our political office holders should be more responsive. They are so dismissive of people, as if it's not those people that voted them. The political office holders need to listen to what people want, especially when what people want is legitimate. They should. What happened in the UK case was a case of this is what our people want. This is what our people want us to do. And then, they went ahead to, let's debate it. Let's see what we can do to, listen to the yearnings of our people. That was what happened. That needs to happen more here.
Yeah.
That those voted into power must listen to the people and, when petitions are signed and sent, they must work on them. But given the fact that our history, our political office holders tend to be dismissive, that is why the insistence I talked about earlier.
We need in a situation where the government, for example, CNN did a report. Our government came out and said, hey, most of this was fake news. They relied on online materials, and many of the stories they were saying that was a bodiless massacre. Then the UK government is now speaking, and they say, oh, these are just individual lawmakers. This is not the position of the British government themselves. In a situation where the government is continually telling us they keep pushing back at these forces, where does that put us as Nigerians? We feel like these are helping us, but where does it put us as Nigerians?
Well, that is the point. It's unfortunate that the government's position has been just to dismiss, has been defensive really, because you see the story continues to shift, and some of it is even embarrassing. Yes, because I read a piece in the aftermath of the CNN report, where people just dismiss the CNN thing and all that and say nothing of such happened. Our soldiers are too sophisticated to take life rounds to peaceful protest. A few hours later, the army came to admit that they actually took life rounds. So it's even embarrassing. The government needs to be more serious. I mean, it's like a joke. How can a minister of information come to speak and just a few hours later, what he discountenanced, what he said never happened? We have another segment of the same government coming to confirm that.
Let me take this call from Shola.
Shola's
been holding for a while. Shola, are you there?
I'm here.
You're live. Go ahead, please. Morning.
Yeah, good morning to everyone in the studio.
Good morning.
Yeah, please,
Oh, please call Shola back. Is he still there? I think he mistakenly pressed the hold button. Oh, please try to call him back. We really need to speak to him. Yes, go ahead, Maria.
Yeah, so when we have conversations like this, sometimes I wonder that type of government, could that be a problem? If we were to have like a parliamentary, I think even someone called today and was saying if we had like a parliamentary system of government, maybe then our leaders will realize that they need to be more accountable to us. Is that the problem, or is it just the problem of the Nigerian mindset, and that no matter what we introduce, the Nigerianness will come into play?
Well, we won't lose very closely at, of course, we practiced the parliamentary before, and now we are practicing the executive presidential system. It will appear as if, given our social environment, that the parliamentary system will be more effective. But yes, because there's a whole lot that it cuts off, and there's a whole lot that it makes possible, given our social environment. So if you ask me, I would say, well, the parliamentary system will seem to be better for our environment. But having said that, who we are is a more fundamental issue.
Yes.
You can design the best system ever.
Who are we, sir? Sorry.
Well,
No, that's a whole kind of world. But even me, I can answer that question for you. I mean, because who are we? I mean,
Who determines who everyone is?
Right? Well, you see, this is the thing. When we say who we are is actually the aggregate of what the majority of us do. You know, there is no country we don't have bad people. But if you have 1,000 people, 950 are bad. The good that the rest 50 will do will simply disappear, will be swallowed up by the 950. But if you have a country where 1,000 people, 900 are good, 100 are bad, the badness of the 100 will not reflect. The 900, so that's the thing. We have too many of our people who are not doing well, who are not doing good. I mean,
it's sad. See, in fact, we need to do a whole show
on who we are.
Because we need to decide, because as a country, we've totally deteriorated, and we need to have that conversation, maybe to remind ourselves how far we've come. But let me let you round up.
But let me make an addendum just to this.
Yes.
Okay.
The good thing is that our people are malleable. Malleable to the extent that if we have somebody who is determined to take us the right direction, it doesn't take much for us to follow. That is an advantage.
I see that in Edo.
I agree.
But to take the different conversation.
That is an advantage.
Can I add one more?
Yeah, 1 second.
So there's a name that seems.
Oh, you can't have a comment. We have to go.
Oh, a comment. This Yakubu Gowon's name that was thrown like that.
Like that. With that respect.
And a lot, a few of us who have met him and sort of, we know a little bit of his story, and we have so much respect for him. Is it enough that a parliamentarian in Britain just throws his name and says he took half of CBN? Is that
how?
Who are you to say that?
What's the evidence?
Is there any truth in
elder
that?
statesman.
This particular former head of state, so I'm not talking of every other one, but this particular former head of state.
Well, unfortunately, he didn't say much.
Yeah.
He just made that comment, said other things about the money is laundered, and moved on. But the way he spoke with so much firmness
and certainty.
Yes, and he was saying, we know. So it's not something we can say yes or no. But what I can say is that I'm surprised as a person. Because I also personally know him. I visited his house before. You know, money smells. If somebody takes half of CBN money,
you will know.
The way he will live. You don't see it. I don't know.
But he doesn't live in Nigeria.
My house is almost better than his.
I'm told he lives.
At least that one I went
to. But is it true that he lives abroad?
In the Kotiebo.
But is it true he lives abroad? We heard that he lives abroad. As a former president for head of state, he shouldn't be living outside the country. Is that?
He doesn't live abroad.
He
travels to the EU. He travels.
So that's not the allegation that he lives abroad.
I met his supervisor. The person supervised his PhD in the UK. I met him. He came to Lagos as somebody we met. The way you described him, it was like any other student.
Humble.
Yes.
If you have that kind of money,
it will show
on your forehead.
I'm not saying it's not true, but I'm only saying that circumstantial evidence.
Before any UK parliament,
talking
about our elder statesmen and our former heads of state, please,
they should watch yourself. They have evidence to do that.
Bring evidence. Don't just be talking anyhow.
Let's just leave it open.
All right. That's all we can take on the show. See you tomorrow. Bye for now.